What is up, everyone? It is Lan here with another episode of the Cheeseheadz Weekly Podcast. We're here for episode 59. It is going to be a blast. We're going to be talking NFL free agency, and that's just about it. So, I realized, first of all, that I made a mistake just with the fact that I did not talk about free agent targets for the Packers beforehand. I thought maybe I'd do that this episode. I'm not sure what I was thinking because the league tampering period starts on today, which is Monday, as you're hearing this live. And so it's like so much other stuff is happening, so much other stuff to talk about. So it's like I'm not even going to get to targets for free agency. I can tell you what I was kind of thinking, and but really excited. The Packers already making some splash moves, and I'm going to break it all down here in a minute. Also, I do want to mention, apologize here a little bit. I've been having some trouble with some audio quality the past few episodes, and then whenever I have that right, the video's off. And I've had some episodes where the audio and video is not synced. So for those of you watching, I apologize for that. I think I'm going to stop doing the video thing on Spotify possibly eventually. I'm not sure. Obviously, you can still listen to it anyway, but maybe that will help if I don't have to do the video stuff there and just keep the video on YouTube. But anyway, we are live here on YouTube. Don't worry if you don't see it here, you'll still get everything out at normal time. But hey, if you're able to join live, then I mean you get everything a little bit ahead of time. So here we go. We're gonna see what we can do. This is purely experimental here, so don't this certainly isn't gonna happen every episode, but I'm just kind of excited with everything happening, and so we're just going to go through it, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with it here. So to start out, if you want to connect with the show a little better, you can follow us on social media at Cheeseheadz_weekly. That's for everything except for X, which is at Cheeseheadz_W. Be sure to subscribe, follow the podcast wherever you get your podcasts on YouTube and Spotify. You can hit the bell so you're notified when a new episode comes out. Again, you can watch the show now on YouTube. We do have the video of that, so hopefully you can enjoy that. Like I said, I've been struggling with the video and audio, syncing that up. I'm not sure what's going on there, but hoping to fix that and hoping to continue to make the show better. So be sure to support the show any way you can. I really appreciate it. And you can rate the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can rate and review there. Be sure to check out the website, greycove.net/cheeseheads, to find every episode, and also how to follow the show and connect with the show in many different ways. The show is available wherever you get your podcasts, and again on YouTube. And also we have Q&As and polls on Spotify every week, so you can check those out and participate in those. Makes it a lot of fun. And of course, we'll have something about free agency, which will definitely be fun to discuss. New episodes come out every Tuesday, and you can send me a voice message anytime, or feel free to comment on YouTube or anywhere with a question or whatever. Voice message, there's a link to send in one of those in every episode description on every platform, so be sure to do that as well. Okay, let's get into the fun stuff. So the headlines here: Kirk Cousins, best quarterback available, formerly playing for Minnesota. He secured the bag, I would say. Agreed to a 4-year, $180 million contract with the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons got their franchise guy. Cousins' deal includes a $50 million signing bonus and $90 million guaranteed, with an additional $10 million guaranteed in 2026. So $100 million in total guarantees. Wow. It's pretty surprising, I guess, maybe for some people. They thought maybe he would come back to Minnesota. Didn't really know what was going to happen, didn't really put a whole lot of thought into it, but he had made a comfortable home, his family was living there, and they're going to Atlanta, replacing Desmond Ridder, and I'm excited about it just for fantasy football, because now we got Kyle Pitts. That great talent, which has been wasted over there. Drake London as well. And, of course, they have Bijan Robinson. So I think Falcons are looking pretty good, especially on offense coming up. Cousins is 35, coming off an Achilles injury, torn Achilles. So who knows what will happen there. But hopefully he'll be at full strength and be able to help the Falcons out, because they are obviously looking to get back in the win column. All right, so I'm not sure what all I want to talk about as far as headlines. I'm not sure I want to mention every single other player. We do have a lot of running backs going off the board. We have, if I can just... it's kind of hard to find a tracker that makes things easy to... Alright, so here we go. The Bears agreed to a contract with running back DeAndre Swift on a 3-year, $24 million deal. Swift had a pretty good year with the Eagles and formerly with the Lions before that, so fairly okay deal there. A similar deal for Tony Pollard, signing with the Titans for a 3-year, $24 million deal again. Saquon Barkley finally, apparently found the contract he was looking for, and I can't even find it. My bad, guys. This is really not great. Probably should have had this pulled up. Here we go. Saquon Barkley, he's leaving for the Eagles, so the Eagles get their replacement. Signing for 3 years with a $37.75 million contract. Well, that will place him just behind Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, and Jonathan Taylor, one of the richest contracts for a running back. And I'm sure he wasn't going to... I guess not wanting to wait around this year, found a contract as good as he could, and and of course, getting the opportunity to play on a good team is never a bad thing either. I did want to mention Baker Mayfield, if I can pull this one up here with the Bucks. Got a contract extension, fairly nice size, from what I could tell. And I will read it to you. He's re-signing on a 3-year, $100 million deal, $30 million guaranteed. So it's going to be, Baker Mayfield back for hopefully 3 years if he plays out the contract. I'm not sure about the move for the Buccaneers. I really should probably get back into looking at kind of the contracts here a little bit closer, like what is a good contract for a quarterback or not, and whether I think they overpaid. I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on that as of now. Maybe I'll research that and come back to you. But apparently the Buccaneers wanted to secure Baker Mayfield. I'm not sure if he's really good enough to warrant, a longer, I guess not really long, but contract that big. I know we have seen some things with guys like Geno Smith got signed to a contract. Nothing too spectacular, but then he kind of busted after that. So we'll see how this works. Hopefully it works for the Bucks. They did pretty good this year. Baker Mayfield can continue to step it up and be good for them. That will definitely be helpful. Mike Evans also was able to return to the Buccaneers. Buccaneers able to bring him back, which I'm sure they were more than happy to do, on a 2-year, $52 million deal. So he got paid for sure, and Antoine Winfield Jr. received the franchise tag. So I guess there you have the Buccaneers stuff. All right, so let's go to the NFC North now. I already mentioned that the Bears did sign DeAndre Swift to that 3-year deal. So they're really upping their game as far as running backs. They did lose David Montgomery a year ago, and last season they just had Khalil Herbert, Roshan Johnson, Deontay Foreman, who they signed last year. I did not look it up. I will look it up here in a minute. If Deontay Foreman is coming back. I thought maybe it was a 1-year deal, but I'm not totally sure. Okay, so he is apparently likely not going to be back with the Bears, especially after this. So now we have Swift, Herbert, and Roshan Johnson on the team. So a little bit of a variety of weapons, and their running back room looks really good now all of a sudden. Swift may not be the guy. I think it's probably going to be a committee approach here for Chicago. But again, I think it's a pretty good move to go out and get Swift for the Bears, beefing up this offense. You know, if you have a running game and you're drafting Caleb Williams, having a good running game will help, and getting offensive line help will certainly be beneficial as well. And they traded for, or agreed to a trade with the Buffalo Bills to trade for offensive tackle Ryan Bates, and they are trading a 5th-round pick this year for him. Obviously, the trade does not become official, and none of these signings become official until the new league year begins on March 13, which would be Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So, again, looking at doing the right things, and also getting some help on defense here. They re-signed Jalen Johnson. I think we can say star corner. He did receive the franchise tag, but then was re-signed to a 4-year, $76 million contract. They also signed a veteran safety, Kevin Byard, formerly from the Titans and then the Eagles last year. He agreed to a 2-year, $15 million contract. And of course, they re-signed their long snapper. The Detroit Lions, if we want to look at that a little bit here, they re-signed, I believe it is a re-sign of Graham Glasgow to a 3-year, $20 million extension. Okay, so probably not a re-signing, just an extension. So he was not a free agent, but he got extended, and $9.5 million guarantees. Reeves Maben, I think I might have mentioned him before, possibly Glasgow as well. Glasgow. I honestly don't even know how to say his name because I don't care about the Detroit Lions. 2-year extension for Reeves Maben, linebacker Jalen Reeves Maben. 2-year extension up to $8 million, including $5.245 million guaranteed. And they re-signed Emmanuel Mosley, who apparently was on their team. I did not realize that. He played for the Niners and was not a bad corner. I think he struggled with injuries recently. We'll go to the Minnesota Vikings here. Their tight end Johnny Munt is re-signing with the team, as is offensive tackle David Quessenberry. They also got some defensive help, and their defense was pretty good a year ago, but cashing in here signing edge rusher Jonathan Greenard, formerly from the Houston Texans, to a four-year $76 million contract, and also signing edge rusher Andrew Van Ginkel. I believe he played for the Dolphins, if I'm not mistaken, to a 2-year contract. Details have not emerged yet there. Also signed former Texans linebacker Blake Cashman, 3-year contract worth up to $25.5 million. I would have considered him a potential target for the Packers in free agency, but obviously did not happen. So let's get into the Packers' moves here. They started out with a release. I'll kind of put some rumors from what I heard from Packers too. Go dig a little deeper when you're talking about the Packers. This is a Packers podcast. After all, Packers literally doing the same thing I did last episode. Per Tom Silverstein, the Packers would like to re-sign cornerback Keyshawn Nixon, linebacker Eric Wilson, tight end Tyler Davis. They have re-signed Tyler Davis now, per Rob Demovsky. Nothing has happened with Wilson or Nixon. I definitely get that, though. Those were two players that I expected the Packers would want to bring back, and apparently they are thinking the same thing. The Packers are also reportedly interested in running back, or maybe I should say were reportedly interested in running back Zach Moss. That is before they decided to sign running back Josh Jacobs, per Ian Rappaport. Now, let me get our details here. He signed a 4-year, $48 million deal with the Packers that includes $12.5 million signing bonus and a total of $14.8 million in year one. So, if I'm not mistaken, okay, this is a 4-year deal. That makes sense. Barkley's was a 3-year deal, I was going to say. But Josh Jacobs, Packers pay him a lot of money. Now, I'll get into this move a little bit later. I do have some thoughts on it. At least my initial thoughts. Haven't had time to think about it a ton. John Runyon Jr. is signing a 3-year deal with the Giants, so they will not be able to bring him back. He seemed to really like it in Green Bay, but if I'm not mistaken, he got paid pretty well here, and I will try to find that. All right. Okay, it doesn't actually have the details. I thought I saw some details earlier, but maybe I'll find those later. Maybe I won't. But a 3-year deal, I think he got paid fairly well, if I remember correctly. And so I'm happy for John Runyon Jr. Darnell Savage signing a 3-year deal with the Jaguars. Jaguars have been busy in free agency yet again. They seem to really like to attack free agency. The Packers have decided to release left tackle David Bakhtiari, per Tom Silverstein. Got his name right that time. Packers will host free agent safety Rayshon Jenkins on a visit, according to Pro Football Talk. Packers are considered to have safety Xavier McKinney as a top target, per Diana Rossini of The Athletic. Guess what? He must have been a top target because the Packers have signed, or will sign, hopefully, if everything goes to plan, Xavier McKinney to a 4-year deal. Yes. Let's go. I am excited. He was the one guy I wanted the Packers to go out and get, and they did it. Excuse me. Very happy with with that signing. I think he has the potential to play that post safety in Jeff Hafley's defense. He can. It's a 4-year deal worth $17 million per season. And I'm not sure what the total is. I mean, you can do the math, I guess. I'll just look it up here real quick. Worth $68 million, including $25 million in year one. So he's getting a lot in year one. So I think just it could be just a really great move to lock up that free safety position. And I think it's a good move just because of the safety class. There's not really that many great guys to play this position. Tyler Nubin is who I would consider to be the top guy. That is actually a safety. There's some versatile guys at corner that could possibly play safety. But Tyler Nubin possibly might not even be quite athletic enough to play the post safety. Xavier McKinney is a former safety from Alabama, only 24 years old, formerly played for the Giants, and if I can just bring up, he was either a first or second round pick. He was drafted in 2017 by the Giants out of Alabama, and I will just check here real quick. He was drafted in the first or second round. It was round 2, early round 2, and I believe he was very close to, if not the best safety in that class, if I remember correctly. So, I mean, they're basically swapping Savage for McKinney. Massive upgrade in my opinion. McKinney can cover and tackle as well as any free safety in football. Has the range to create splash plays. Yeah, he's just athletic enough. He's a good player and kind of went unnoticed in New York playing for the Giants. But really, really excited for this one. This is going to be fun to watch this Packers defense, maybe, for once, with a new coordinator and some new talent coming in. Now, I'm not sure I mentioned yet, the Packers have released, or at least they will release, Devondre Campbell at the start of the new league year, saving over $10.5 million on the salary cap in 2024 with a post-June 1st designation. So basically, the cap savings from that only come post-June 1. So that's not money they can use right now. Basically, the reason it's post-June 1 is because they can save a little bit more money by doing so, and so that is why they're doing that. But that does not mean Campbell will have to wait till after June 1 to sign with another team. He is considered a free agent and can sign with another team at any time. So I didn't think about it too hard, but it seems like definitely the right move. I'm definitely not opposed to it. But it turns linebacker from an underrated need to a very much a need. In fact, with the signing of McKinney, possibly a bigger need than at safety, although they do still have a need at safety. Basically, it's McKinney and Anthony Johnson Jr. It's possible they could re-sign Jonathan Owens. I don't consider that likely to happen. Maybe they'll re-sign another lower-level safety. We'll see. That's possible. But at this point, they are not going to have a ton of safeties and could use a lot more depth and talent in that room. So I still expect them to draft a safety at this point. But they don't have to try to get one really early, and that's probably a good thing because there's not a ton of really top-end talent in this class. So, another big move. So let's just talk about the Bakhtiari that I already mentioned. I just want to say that I don't think anyone really wanted this to happen, and it's just really an unfortunate string of bad luck, I would say. So Bakhtiari's getting older, all this injury issues. I really do hope he finds another team and can succeed, continue to play high-level football for a while, because Bakhtiari, great guy to have on the Packers. Really have a lot of respect for the guy, and great mentor to a lot of Packers players, great in the locker room, and great player when he was on the field. It's just unfortunate injury stuff. I don't think anyone wanted this. I think the Packers would have rather kept him, but it was just he was too expensive. Packers will save $20 million on the cap because of that. So it's unfortunate, but had to happen, and Packers made it happen. And so I'm thankful for the years Bakhtiari was able to spend in Green Bay. Also, I mentioned the Josh Jacobs signing, so Packers are, because of that, releasing Aaron Jones. It sounds like, per Tom Pelissero, that conversations about the restructuring of his contract that were reported earlier kind of broke down, and so the Packers had to release him. Now, Andy Herman of the Pack-A-Day podcast did talk about this a little bit, and basically he said that there would be a possibility of them releasing Jones, because if Jones does not want to restructure his contract or take a pay cut, whatever they're asking him to do, if he just is like, no, I don't want to do this, and then the Packers are like, okay, well, we want to have you on the team, so we'll just let you stay. Well, then that sets everything up to be like every other Packers player that they're asking, like, hey, you want to restructure your deal? And they're like, oh, no, thanks. And then they're like, okay, you can just stay with the team, never mind. So it's like, the thing is, you have to kind of release him if this happens. Otherwise, everyone else on the team's like, oh, we don't have to restructure our contract. If we restructure our contract, or if we say we don't want to, nothing's going to happen. We'll still be with the Packers, and we'll still be happy. So Aaron Jones very much wanted to stay with the Packers, but he took a pay cut last year, and he can only do so much. And I honestly kind of wish the Packers would just let him play the last year of this deal, and bring back Jones for another year, kind of run it back. But things happen, and once again, really thankful for Aaron Jones, and have a lot of respect for that guy as well. I've talked nonstop about Jones, his character, off the field, on the field, and he's just been tremendous for the Packers when he's been on the field, and even when he's injured, he's tremendous for the Packers. It does not matter what it is, Aaron Jones is a Packer. I honestly cannot imagine Aaron Jones with another team, and it's interesting. So I guess we'll dive into that a little bit more. The Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones swap. So Josh Jacobs is 26 years old. I believe Aaron Jones is 29, if I'm not mistaken. I can look that up here really quick. But he is 29, so 3-year difference. That's a fairly big difference. Josh Jacobs has played 5 years in the NFL. Yeah, that would make sense if he started at 21, because he played out his rookie contract, and then he played on the franchise tag last year with the Raiders. So heading into his 6th season, he's got, I guess, probably more tread in his tires than Aaron Jones. He is a slightly bigger back than Jones, so that will also, Packers did want a bigger back, although I think they said they wanted a bigger back behind Jones. So now they have a bigger back that can potentially take a larger workload. I think this slightly diminishes the need. He is on a $4 million deal and $4 million. He's on a 4-year deal. So he'll be around for maybe 4 years till he's 30. But again, this deal looks a lot like the one they gave Aaron Jones. So I'm not really sure. I think it may be possible that he could get, released. There's an out on the contract before then. I don't know how it works. I'll have to research that, and feel free to listen to Andy Herman on the Pack-A-Day podcast because he researches these things amazingly. And I mean, they're putting out 3 or 4 episodes a day, doing a great job over there. So shout out to Pack-A-Day. But it's just, I like Jones a lot. Jacobs, the character is not going to be anything like Jones. He did not have a good year last year. 2022 was amazing. Last year, not all that great. But it was the Raiders. And the Raiders aren't all that great either. So I'm not sure what I think about it. Like I said, I like Aaron Jones. He wasn't going to be able to be there forever, so you do get a little bit younger. You get a guy who can potentially take a larger workload than what you were able to give Jones. But my guess is you still want to draft a running back to prepare for the future. And so I'm not sure if this lessens the need very much. Maybe it does a little bit, but we'll see kind of what happens in that department. Overall, their 2 signings, that's big time. I don't expect a whole lot more from the Packers in free agency. Of course, as I speak, they could be looking to sign another big high-dollar free agent. But, yeah, the Jacobs signing could have surprised a lot of people. NFL doesn't like to pay running backs, so the Packers don't like to really pay anyone in free agency. Why would they go after a running back? I don't really know, but they definitely have shown interest in guys. They've shown a little bit of interest in Jonathan Taylor when he was up for trade, who's very top tier, one of the best running backs in the league. So, I guess they wanted to go for a big game running back. They like to run the football, and they want a good running back on the team to help complement Jordan Love in the receiving room. And, of course, Jordan Love's still developing. So it is beneficial to have a good rushing attack. So, I mean, now I'd say it's a pretty sure thing that we're going to have a good running game if Jacobs is healthy. But again, we don't know for sure. I don't think it was him declining last year, but again, he did not have that great of a season last year. I think it was more the Raiders' offense and how he was used, all that, because, you normally don't go from one amazing breakout year to just not great at all. So we'll see what happens with Jacobs and with the Packers' run game. But I don't think it's going to get a whole lot worse. But again, A.J. Dillon not expected to be back. There was a report that the Packers do like Emmanuel Wilson, and that they're giving him or that he could have a real chance to become number 2 running back behind, Aaron Jones, or it was Aaron Jones then, now Josh Jacobs. So we'll see what happens there. Let me just scroll down here, see if we have any moves. They are going to host a visit for free agent safety Rayshon Jenkins, so that's a possibility of them signing another free agent. They did re-sign one of the guys they like, Tyler Davis, core special teamer, coming off an ACL injury. So, I mean, they seem to really, really like that guy. They keep bringing him back year after year. So, another interesting move. I'll just scroll down here and see if there's anything else. Does not look like it. All right. The Packers were awarded 3 compensatory picks in the 2024 draft. So they will have 11 picks. The picks are the 168 overall pick in the 5th round, the 219 overall in the 6th round, and the 255 overall in the 7th round. So also keep an eye on, Packers potentially could bring back Rudy Ford. He does play a lot of special teams on a cheap deal, depending on what happens. So I'm not real sure that they're done re-signing and that they would not re-sign those guys just because the only ones mentioned that they want to re-sign are Nixon and Wilson and Davis. It's possible that they could re-sign others to cheap deals as well. So keep an eye on that. All right. I will just take a look here at the tracker, see if there's any major news. The Bucks are trading Carlton Davis to the Lions. Zion McCollum apparently. Who is Zion McCollum? Now, okay. I don't even know what this is talking about, but apparently Zion McCollum had a huge year for the Bucks, I guess, and so he's going to get an opportunity to start now. Raiders added Gardner Minshew. I guess I should mention that the Steelers signed Russell Wilson to a 1-year deal. After the Broncos released him, they are taking on a ton of dead money. They signed him to a humongous contract. Cannot fathom how much that hurts. Seahawks absolutely won that trade. It's rough. I don't know if Wilson's done. He must be because we did have Sean Payton last year, and he improved a little bit from when he was with Hackett, but not a ton. So not reading into that a whole lot. I'm not sure if they really signed him to be a starter. It wasn't certainly a very lucrative contract, so we'll see what happens. One of the Packers' potential targets at linebacker off the board. Commanders are signing ex-Panthers linebacker Frankie Louvu to a 3-year deal worth $36 million. All right. Don't see a ton of anything else. We still have not had a Justin Fields trade. Gus Edwards is going to sign with the Chargers. That's an interesting one because we do have Austin Eckler, who has not been signed anywhere, I don't believe. Gus coming from the Ravens, going to the Chargers to sort of help replace Austin Eckler. And he seems like he's kind of a ground and pound guy. Seems like someone Jim Harbaugh would like. And he was formerly coached by John Harbaugh with the Ravens, and also Greg Roman is the Chargers offensive coordinator who was formerly an offensive coordinator for the Ravens as well. I'll just scroll down through here and real quick, and we'll see if there's anything else. Certainly not anything else on the Packers front, so that's probably about all we need to know. 3-year, $30 million deal was for John Runyon Jr. And $17 million is guaranteed. Panthers are releasing safety Von Bell. A lot of safeties been released. Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams were released by the Seahawks. So there's still safeties out there that possibly they could get for cheaper. Like a strong safety maybe. A guy to play in the box. That wouldn't be a bad idea. All right. I guess that will that'll do it here for me. Thanks for listening, everyone. A little bit scattered just because I was kind of doing it on the fly, but so much free agency news to talk about. I'm really excited though. especially for the Xavier McKinney signing. It's going to be really sad to not have Jones around. It's going to be a lot different. But hey, we'll see what Josh Jacobs can do. And Packers obviously willing to spend money at running back to go out and get one of the better guys in the league. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Obviously, there's still plenty of needs to be addressed, but lots of draft capital and potentially a few more cheaper signings like we're more accustomed to seeing the Packers do. I'm just so excited with that Xavier McKinney signing. I was so stoked to see that. There have been rumors of them interested, and but he's like one of the top free agents on the market. So it's tough to see the Packers actually doing that, but they got it done. Yeah, cannot wait. This Jeff Hafley defense is going to be set up to succeed next year, and so I sure hope that's what we see. All right. That'll do it for me today. Be sure to check out the Daily Draft podcast as part of the Pack a Day podcast. For a lot of draft stuff, that's where I like to listen to a lot of Packers-specific draft stuff, which is nice. Guys that the Packers would actually target that, yeah. And, there's some players that the Packers just don't like, and so you get some sort of that analysis as well. Over Ross Uglum does that from Packer Report, and he's good at what he does. And I'll talk, hopefully, about some draft stuff leading up to the draft, more free agency stuff, of course. We'll see what I decide to do next episode. Right now, I've been, looking at a lot of draft stuff, and especially a lot of skill players. Just getting ready for Dynasty rookie draft, Dynasty fantasy football. That's always a lot of fun. So it's an exciting time of year, and we're just moving right along here with everything happening right now. So I guess be sure to subscribe, follow the podcast wherever you get it. Subscribe on YouTube. I'll be posting shorts out on social media, so you can follow me there. X, Instagram, I have a Facebook page, so a lot of different places, and where you can find clips of the show. That will do it. I will talk to you later next week on Tuesday. And go Pack Go.